What's up, Zoe Talk 123 here? An exciting night for Cardinal fans. I'm a huge Cardinal fan, and I've been following this very closely. And after a while, I felt like Carlos Beltran I think, was a 70-80% going to the Cardinals. And the last few days have heated up. And then today, I felt like we're either going to sign him, today or tomorrow at the latest. And then talks kept going, maybe today. And they reached an agreement. They've been working hard on it. They reached an agreement that I thought was pretty steep actually. It's a 2-year deal worth $26 million, with a no trade clause, and I think that was kind of maybe a deal breaker, maybe not, but that was the last things they were working out was a no trade clause. I was kind of hoping for him not to have one because just in case we are in a good position next year, or not next year, 2 years from now, or if we're really losing and we'd be able to trade him. But, it's not that big of a deal. We are having a very solid player here. Carlos Beltran, we've been going after him since Albert Pujols didn't resign. And, as Albert Pujols, it was such a sad thing to see him go. But at the same time, business-wise, it was smart for the organization. I'm glad they held their ground and said, we're not going to offer you money we can't afford. We're not going to offer the same contracts as the Angels. We can't do that. We're not going to cripple our team for the next 10 years. And they didn't. They stood firm, and John Mazek did a great job, I think, throughout the negotiations. Not looking at what the market was doing, but looking at what his team can do to resign Albert Pujols. And I think he did a good job. And obviously, it's one of those things where probably would have been better off if we signed him a few years ago, but it didn't happen. And you know, he's gone and opens up a lot of doors, though. Payroll flexibility. And, we do have a guy, right, lots riding on a guy like Matt Adams. When Berkman is probably gone, he's year to year this year. If Matt Adams is still doing good, we won't need Berkman next year. We put Matt Adams at first, see how that goes. And also, payroll-wise, you're going to see Kyle Loesch and Jake Westbrook go off the books next year. A little deal, and Skip Schumacher. No, that's a 2-year deal. Never mind. And then you might see a guy like Matt Adams get a chance. You have Alan Craig, who's going to be getting a chance. He's hurt for right now, and it looks like Beltran will play right, and then John Jay will play center like normal. And this lineup will look great. We've been chasing Beltran since he became a free agent. Not since he became a free agent, actually since Albert didn't re-sign with us. And Beltran, in my opinion, is the best remaining free agent that seems possible for the Cardinals. Prince Fielder is not a logical fit, really. He doesn't really fit into what the Cardinals are like. And not like that. What I mean is, like, we can't afford him. That's basically what I mean. If we were pushing out of our limit to sign Albert, Scott Boras is trying to get a higher, average per year payroll-wise for Prince Fielder. And he's also trying to get the same. So he's probably just trying to get a bigger contract than Albert, which is not going to happen. We can't re-sign a guy who is a franchise player for that amount. We're not going to re-sign Prince Fielder. Maybe I could see it on a short-term deal, 3 years, $70 million. I could see that maybe happening at most, but I just don't see the Cardinals going after a guy like Prince Fielder. I think they're better off staying with Lance Berkman at first for this year. Carlos Beltran for a 2-year deal. That's great. I mean, he's the second best free agent hitter out there, and Prince Fielder right now is not really realistic for us. Save our money, go there, and spend some money on for call. So, altogether you're spending $20 million, the money that you were spending on Pujols and getting for Call and Beltran, and that saves even $1 or $2 million to spend too. Do I think the Cardinals are done this offseason? If they're not done, then they're very close to it. I don't see what other moves they could possibly make. I think at short, Rafael for Call, obviously. Second base, you're looking at Daniel Descalso and Skip Schumacher as a super utility guy. But I think the signings of Velez and the signings of the Rule 5 draft pick, Komatsu, I believe, Eric. So I believe that they have enough depth in the outfield, and the fact that they had so much depth last year with Berkman and Craig and Jay and Holiday and some backup guys and Chambers, they're definitely fine in the outfield. So I don't see them, I see them using Skip Schumacher and Daniel Descalso at second. And Descalso, he had a really good year rookie last year. His baddie he came up clutch many times, and his defense was even better. So I think having him at second base is definitely a plus defensively for the team over Skip Schumacher. Having for Call at short, hopefully he can get his bat back up there, steal some bases, and I hope that Mike Matheny is more into stealing bases than Tony La Russa. You look at David Freese. Obviously, we don't need a third baseman with him, and hopefully he can have another breakout year. He had a breakout postseason. Hopefully he can continue that and stay healthy for 2012 and have a year around 18 to 20 2 home runs or something like that. It'd be huge for the offense. John Jay, I hope that he just keeps getting better. He's been improving ever since his rookie year. And then, of course, Alan Craig will be out for a month or two, most likely. Even if he comes back earlier, Beltran could go to center. I don't know how well he could play center at this point. But then John Jay and Alan Craig could play right field. But the whole thing with Pujols was, if Pujols leaves, this gives Craig a chance to play right field, and he deserves that spot. He deserves to have it. He's pretty cost controlled, not too expensive, definitely affordable. And he put up great numbers, and I just have been wanting him to be able to have that starting spot. And he finally has a chance, and then we signed Carlos Beltran, which it totally makes sense. So we need that extra push in the outfield. And the fact that Craig is hurt, it even adds more to it. And the fact that it's a 2-year deal, I'm in favor of this. It's just a lot of money. It's a big commitment to a guy like Carlos Beltran. $13 million we're paying a guy who's 35 years old. He's put up great numbers, though. Yes, he was injured 2009, 2010. He came back in 2011, had a very healthy season. He hit right around 300. Actually, I think he hit 300. Had a really good on-base percentage, good slugging percentage. I think it was 8th or 9th in the National League. He hit 20-plus home runs, 80-plus RBIs, and I think he'll have a great year in St. Louis. I think the fans will love the atmosphere. The last time I remember him facing St. Louis was 2006 when he was a final out of the 2006 NLCS, and now he's going to be teammates with Wainwright. He's going to be teammates with everyone else. I think he'll love the city of St. Louis. Obviously, it'd be a better situation if he was in there with Albert Pujols, but I think he definitely fills part of that void in the lineup. You're looking up a lineup as it's got a lot better now because of Beltran. You stick him in there, and really when people were talking about the whole Crisp thing, I don't think it was ever considered like they were gonna take him over Beltran, unless they had some crazy master plan that was gonna be a major trade for like a star second baseman or someone like that they needed payroll flexibility. That's the only way I could think of them signing Crisp, because you have $14-15 million to spend left in the offseason. And then, next year you're going to have a lot of money coming off the books. You can look into free agency. You can look into midseason trades that add payroll. Why would you sign a guy like Coco Crisp, who has a low average just because of his stolen bases? I don't see that fitting with the Cardinals' plans. I think all along they were going after Carlos Beltran. He was definitely a plan B. If they couldn't get Beltran done, then yes, they're going to get Crisp done, and they'll go from there. They'll have Crisp playing center, John playing right. Then, you get Alan Craig back, and it's looking at Alan Craig in right, and then Coco Crisp and John Jay in center. Mostly Coco Crisp, though, because I love his stolen bases. I do. I like Coco Crisp. I like his stolen bases a lot. 49 stolen bases last year was awesome. But the thing with Coco Crisp is he doesn't fit in with the team right now because of the fact that we have Holiday in left. We have John Jay and Alan Craig platooning in right if we have a good center fielder. And by getting Carlos Beltran, that really completes our outfield. We now have an outfield of Holiday, Beltran, and Jay. And then when Alan Craig gets healthy, I believe it would be, just an easy swap. Beltran playing center most of his career. Hopefully he's still healthy enough to do that. He goes to center. Jay goes to right and platoons with Craig. But I would imagine Craig would get most of his starts in right when he comes back, because you got to get him back in the mode. And plus he has a lot more power than Jay. Just depends on, how Jay is doing that year. I like putting Jay in the number 2 hole. I also like putting him in the 8 hole. It's going to be interesting. He actually did a good for a leadoff too. So it's going to be interesting to see the lineup looking like, in my mind, for Call. In the 2nd hole, wow, I was thinking of Craig before, but now that he's not healthy, I think it might be a lineup like for Call, Jay, then you're going to see Holiday, Berkman, Beltran, and Freeze,
David Freeze.
Yachty, and yeah, so this lineup looks great, and Descalso. So the lineup's looking good. Definitely got a lot better tonight. You're adding a guy right in the middle of the order, good on base percentage, and Carlos Beltran. He's definitely going to be a fan favorite in St. Louis. It takes away a little bit of the void from losing Pujols, and I'm definitely excited about having Carlos Beltran.
Carlos Beltran.
And the Cardinals, they did make a big commitment there. 2-year, $26 million, no trade clause. I didn't think they were going to go that high for him. I didn't think they were going to go over $22 million for him. But I think they had to add some extra in there to make sure they get him, because they need him. There's no other options for them other than going a trade route or signing Coco Crisp. And Beltran is a lot better than Coco Crisp in the offensive standpoint if you're looking at something other than stolen bases. And Beltran, hopefully is a dream if he could steal, a few bases. I know he only stole a few last year. The surgeries, the knee problems, all the injuries that he had, back problems, I believe, too. But the main thing is if he can steal a few bases would be nice, but he's here for the power in the offense and in the middle of the order bat there. And Tyler Green will probably platoon with Daniel Escalso. He'll add some speed. I think Mike Matheny will use speed more to his advantage than Tony La Russa did. And I think Rafael Furcal is definitely some speed there too. So I like the moves. So really, when it comes down to it, would you rather spend $22 million for 10 years for Albert Pujols, or would you rather have Furcal and Beltran on 2-year commitments and have all of that money, freed up at the end of their deals, and all of Loesch's and Westbrook, so you're gonna have money to play with. So really, Albert's contract could have crippled the team, and I'm thankful for John Mozeliak standing point and staying put and make sure that this is a contract that they can afford. All right, thanks for watching again. Zombie Talk 123. Excited about Carlos Beltran joining the St. Louis Cardinals.